Hello everybody, how's it going today? It's now December the 4th. It is officially my last day here in Marseille, France. And unfortunately, it's gonna come to an end. Everything's already packed and I'm kind of sad to go, but you know what? It's time for a new journey. Sarah, where are we going next?
Paris.
We're going to Paris. It's gonna be nice. We're gonna be there for about 3 days. Actually 4 days. And we got this beautiful hotel with a view of the Eiffel Tower, and it's like pretty awesome. We also got a bunch of yellow jackets. I'm just joking, guys. That's pretty bad to joke about right now. If you guys don't know about what's been going on in France, basically the government is increasing the cost of living. So a lot of people are riding on the streets. They're burning down luxury vehicles and stores as well. And then when Sarah heard about that, she was like, let's go there. It sounds amazing. Yeah, so we're actually really looking forward to that. And then after that, just to keep you guys updated with my plans, after we finish in Paris, we go back to Cassis, where our second place is. We've got 2 places in France. It's kind of funny. And then after that, we go to Canada together on December the 13th. And then where are we going after that in January?
Laos.
We're going to go to Laos. I'm going to take her to my home country.
And I'm gonna meet the parents.
And she's gonna meet the parents. That's right. My parents are actually coming with us to this trip to Laos. I invited them, and I'm like, "Hey, mom, dad, do you guys want a free all-inclusive trip to Laos on your son?" Sure, why not? Let's just go to Laos. So, anyways, I'm really excited. I just want to thank you guys once again for all the love and the support. You guys always say my 3 favorite words that I absolutely love wholeheartedly, and my 3 favorite words is "You were right."
I was actually gonna guess that.
Yeah. Sarah knows that my 3 favorite words are usually "you were right" in the market. So here at yesterday's video for December the 3rd, I suggested going long around the 3,800 range right here, and then targeting about 40.55 for a 382 Fibonacci target. And surely enough, guys, what did we end up hitting? We ended up hitting pretty high numbers actually, okay? We ended up hitting about, hold on, let me double check this. We ended up hitting 41.35 with flying colors. So you gotta admit, that was actually a pretty good position to take, guys. I mean, we ended up spiking up about 8%. Don't you guys just love volatility? But more importantly, don't you guys love profits? I personally love profits. I mean, the more profit I make, the more shoes I can buy for myself. I'm just joking, Sarah.
What's that?
She didn't hear that joke, but it's actually true. Like, the more profit I make, the more shoes I can buy for myself. She's like, I want a new pair of shoes. She would buy she'd buy herself a new pair of shoes if she wanted one. And I'm just entirely joking around, guys. Okay. So anyways,
When you buy, though.
yeah, she does like shoes. Sarah also has this incredibly cute sunglass addiction. Okay, she came here with 7 pairs of sunglasses for a month in France, and then we go to Italy and she's like, oh, I want these Tommy Hilfigers, and then we spend like half of the time in Italy looking for Celine sunglasses first. Actually, we were looking for Celine sunglasses first of all in France, and then we got completely lost and it wasn't even there, so we go to Italy, and we spent half of the time looking for these sunglasses. And she's like, oh, forget it. We're just going to settle for these Tom Fords. So now 1 month in France with 9 sunglasses. Yeah.
Most are like $15 though.
I'm just grinning at her right now. Looking like...
Okay,
Some of them are. Anyways, guys, let's get into this technical analysis, all right? I'm just joking around with you guys today simply because it's my last day here in Marseille. And you know, it's kind of cool where, you know how in life where sometimes you are at the end of a journey and a new one's about to begin, and then you're just kind of like, whoa, I can't believe I'm done. It's kind of the same thing like if you're watching a TV series and you binge it, and then at the end of the TV series it's like, whoa, I can't believe this TV series is actually done now. You just kind of feel sad. That's kind of the feeling that I have right now. It's like, whoa, I can't believe I'm gonna be done in France in like how many days? And I'm gonna be out of France in literally 8 days. Haven't even bought my plane ticket yet. I just want to give a shout out to ZD, you know who you are, for actually for hooking up those WestJet tickets, right? Those mean a lot to me, and I'm actually going to use them on the way back. Thank you very much. I sincerely appreciate it, and hopefully next year you can give me First class tickets? That'd be way better, right, Sarah? Okay, so let's get into this technical analysis, guys. So how did I assume that we were actually going to get a bounce here? Okay, we were going to get a bounce here, in my opinion, simply because of this trend line that's actually been forming, right? So I've done so many detailed Elliott wave counts right now that I just simply don't know how else I can actually do this. So I'm gonna assume that, you know, this is kind of an A right here. Okay, I'm gonna assume, I think this is a truncated fifth wave, right? I'm gonna assume that this is an A, B, and we're still making our way to a C. Hopefully it'll get there, but most likely not that high, of course, because I'm a day trader and I go one at a time. I don't think we're gonna get higher than, you know, maybe 4,500 if we do have some signs of bullish divergence, okay? But let's first of all isolate this specific region that we're in right now. And you guys have watched my previous videos because I'm running a little bit low on time and energy today to be doing an entire structure, right, of retracement. So the way that I am looking at this right now is that I believe there's still a chance for us to get to maybe this region there, 4782 ranges. And the way that I'm looking at this right now is this is most likely an A, this is a B, and there's a C going up there. Because if I do my confluent, if I look for confluency, what I'm seeing is, well, you know, the 382 region is 4782 and the one-to-one extension is above 4582. So, you know, I'm just going to isolate my zone to assume almost a double top, but slightly higher than that. So what is going to convince me? What's going to convince me is two things, okay? One, we got to cross this 55 EMA on a 2-hour time frame with a lot of volume, okay? That's one thing. And two, we got to start coasting above these regions over here, okay, between 4082 and 4367. Did I take my profit already? Yes, I did. And why aren't I showing you guys? Because I'm packed already, guys, so I apologize for that, okay? I'm entirely packed already, to be quite honest. I'm getting ready extremely early, but I ended up taking a fairly generous profit in the 4 digits simply because my base price was about $3,900 for about a 10 Bitcoin position. So I'm incredibly happy right now. I took my profit at, I think, 40.52, something like that, right? 40.52-ish. And my base price was about 39.12-ish because I ended up adding more to it. So I'm incredibly happy overall for the day. Just sometimes when I'm swinging, it works out as expected. And the way that I'm seeing this right now is I'm seeing this as an ABC coming down, okay? And I believe that we're trying to search for a 5 wave going upwards right now still. So if we can coast through these specific structures, right? Like we get a huge 3rd wave to finish the C, then bam, we're gonna come downwards, right? But as it stands right now, what I want to make note of is this, okay? See this structure right here? Always assume something called parallelity, okay? So if you guys notice right here, this is kind of a parallel channel, right? That's coming down. You guys can draw this however you please. Consider some bull trap regions, etc., right? Nevertheless, it seems to be fairly consistent thus far. These are bull trap regions, bull trap regions. So one of two things is going to happen, right? If we get a bounce right there, great. That's a pretty decent long entry. And then if we actually get a break above these regions, like, you know, whether it be there as well, that's also a great long entry as well, because the risk to reward, regardless of where it is, right? Like, let's just say that okay, let me just do a check here as well. My apologies, guys, my energy is incredibly low right now. Okay, so if we end up breaking above here, I mean, I just want to get a 3rd wave going upwards, you know, like a 3rd wave going upwards and clearly breaking above there. If we end up breaking above that specific region for this resistance, I will target, first of all, I'm going to take some of my profit at 4,500. I'm going to set my stop loss for maybe 4K. That's kind of a generous R unit, right? 4K is like, honestly, it's like 3.5%, 3.7%. But even at here, I'm getting myself an RR of about 2.3, right? Check that out, 2.33. And if I go for a more aggressive approach, I'm going to be targeting about 15% with an RR of about 413. So that's really relevant to me. Now, if we get a clear conviction of support here with the big wick, this is an even better RR entry, right? So if you go into a long position somewhere down over there, and even if you target at the top there, right, you can target just the bottom of the channel here. This yields a really good entry as well. Now, what would yield a very good short entry? Honestly, my short entry, guys, it's got to break below here. Honestly, it's got to really break below 36.59 regions here on Bitfinex. So if we break below there, I mean, we're going to test 3,500 first, right? And then we're clearly going to test 3K as well. So the way that I'm seeing this right now is very neutral, actually. Let's take a look at the 2-day level right now and just see how this is trending. So on the 2-day right now, the way that we're seeing this is fairly bearish, actually. Lots of sell-off volume. On the daily here, we're seeing a bullish spinning top here with decent volume, right? Pretty decent volume. So are we just going to end up doing what I mentioned earlier? Because that would be one of the most ideal situations that we can see, right? A, B, and then C go to up to 45 to 4,800 regions. Wonderful. Let's look on the weekly chart as well to see how this is looking. On the weekly chart, right? We ended up finishing with a doji 2 days into the week right now, and we're getting ourselves a fairly bearish candle, actually, just getting rejected below the 55 EMA. On the monthly chart, it's you can't even look at the monthly right now. The big monthly question is, are we actually going to trend above this 55 EMA? So there's many things to consider right now. On the 12-hour chart, we're looking fairly bearish in my opinion still. We're actually fairly bullish. This could be seen as a tweezer pair combination, but we're still rejecting the 8 and the 13. So all across the board, there are many mixed signs. According to Constance Brown's RSI rule, right, if we're anywhere between very low RSI to below like 60 RSI, we're fairly bearish levels, right? If we're anywhere from very high RSI to like 40, pretty bullish levels in my opinion. But right now, as you can see, we're trending anywhere between 35 to about 52 right now on even a high time frame, like a 10-hour. So in my opinion, it's considered more bearish than anything, right? And we're getting neutrality as well. Is that even a word? Neutrality? Is that a word, Sarah?
Neutrality, yeah.
Yeah. Oh wow. I impress myself sometimes. So histogram is it's kind of all neutral, guys. I mean, look at this histogram here. Remember Constance Brown's RSI rule between 60 and 40 is neutral? That's kind of exactly where we are right now. So we are just waiting right now. And the key levels that I highly recommend that you guys take a look at, right? Make sure you're demarcating this line right here, right, as a resistance. Maybe this could even be seen as it right there, right? That could be seen as it right there. I mean, are we squeezing into an apex right now? Right, this could be a very viable shape. Don't you guys agree with me right here? Like, I mean, that's so viable in my opinion. So it seems like there's going to be a squeeze coming where before December the 7th, we're going to see something happening. And I'm extremely excited to long or short Bitcoin. It really all depends on what happens right now if we break some levels. So let's take a look at BTC USD long and then BTC USD short. So right now on the long table, we're fairly neutral on a 2-hour chart, right? We got liquidated hard a long time ago. That was crazy, guys. On the 20th, remember that? Whew. Man, people got destroyed in the market. I think that was the day where I was hanging out with Sarah, and then I got her to come on the computer. Do you remember that day?
There's been a few of those.
There's been a few of those days, right, where I asked her to click the X button for me to liquidate my position and take 4-figure losses.
Oh, that day.
Yeah,
that was a bad day.
They were pretty big days, but I took it like a champ, right?
Yes, you did.
Yeah, I take losses like a champ, guys, because I realized that losses are just part of the game, and they were big losses, guys. Like it's honestly like some people's yearly salary, put it that way. Those kind of losses, but it was fine though to me. Like, I'm almost broken even already, even after a few days, so I'm not really worried about this at all. So I'm just honest with you guys, right? I keep it real, dog. So we're also reaching that zone again, right, where we're like, oh my goodness, there's so many short positions right now, and we're reaching this zone that we've been just destroying the bulls, like the bears just end up getting destroyed whenever they reach this zone between 35 to 40k BTC short positions on Bitfinex. So yeah, kind of on the fence right now. I'm just hoping for a break like above, 4K, like with lots of conviction and volume to 4,300, and maybe, excuse me, maybe I'll start adding slowly to my long position if I believe it's going to get to 4,800, right? But the moment, guys, we hit the 3650 ranges, and we're just going to get some hammering from the bears on the support side, and the bulls can't keep them up. It's going to be very, very easy to see if we're going to hit 3,500 first and then go down. But either way, all that matters, guys, is that volatility is back in the market. I personally don't give a crap if it goes up or down short term, because I am a day/swing trader, and all that matters to me is volatility and trying to predict the momentum and seeing where the strength is going to take us, right? But of course, long term, I'm incredibly bullish on Bitcoin. I believe that it's the year of regulation, like I've always mentioned, and with regulation comes new adopters, and with new adopters, institutional money comes in as well, right? And if you guys have been following a lot of the fundamental news right now, and a lot of professionals out there, including myself, we think that lots of people are selling off because of a technical perspective, right? And I highly think that blockchain's here to stay. Bitcoin's here to stay. I mean, it's not gonna, let's face it, I hate using this word, guys. Hate's a strong word, but I dislike using the word usurp, right? It's not going to usurp traditional fiat anytime soon. We got to be aware of that. But what it will do is raise awareness for how ledgers are handled, and unalterable ledgers as well, right? And it's basically an anti-corruption method, right? Money can't be corrupted. And you guys know how honest governments are, right? Look at Venezuela. I'm just joking to all the people from Venezuela, okay? Your government's very, very, very non-corrupt. How's that hyperinflation going for you? I'm just joking, guys. Enough with those jokes, okay? It's very sensitive, and I'm trying to be as polite as I can. But my point is, we know why Bitcoin rose from the ashes, right? We know exactly why. It's just it's a statement. It's to liberate people from being a slave to traditional currencies, right? We want to feel empowered, and I believe that blockchain in general is going to pave the way for something that we're going to adopt into our daily lives, and you guys won't even know how part of our lives it'll be. Like how a smartphone is as common to, is common to an 8-year-old, right? Where they just pick it up and they know how to use it, and they just grow up using it, like kids in their early 20s nowadays. And I just can't help but think to myself that if you guys keep dollar cost averaging, like it's not that I can't help but think to myself, guys. It's more like I made a decent amount last year, and I'm from professional experience. Like, once you learn how to dollar cost average, let me give you guys a very good example, okay? Like, honestly, the smart people out there right now, they are just buying it up, and they're accumulating based on just DAO theory. They're buying at 6K, they're buying at 5K, 5,500, 5K, 4,500, 4K. They're buying as this goes down and down and down, and they don't give a crap about this price dropping. Why? Because I think that the institutions out there and these big companies that are spending $100 million on mining rigs, they probably know about the future of Bitcoin much better than you guys do, much better than we do, because we're nothing but tiny little minnows in a huge ocean of whales, right? We're just trying to follow the momentum and seeing where it goes. And I can assure you guys that there's direction for Bitcoin, and something will dramatically happen in 2019. I've been around through a lot of bull markets, guys, even not trading in the, like, for example, .com boom, etc., right? Or right after 2008, where the crash happened, right? But anyways, there's been a lot of things that have happened, and I've seen that the richest people out there that profit the most from the market are the ones that really understand the concept of taking advantage of fear, taking advantage of fear and just being extremely greedy. And that's also why you guys have seen me make some killer profits as well when there's high RSI or low RSI. It's because people are getting shaken out. The weak hands are entirely getting shaken out in the market, and it's a very finite resource, guys. Bitcoin doesn't get more finite than that compared to gold, right? And whenever there's a finite resource, you have to understand that the supply will eventually diminish over time, and if there's a demand for it, what happens, right? It'll become directly proportional. So the price will spike up when the supply is much lower. And you also think of over time of how many Bitcoin will eventually be lost because, well, people lose their passwords and accounts, nano ledgers or whatever get lost as well. And just factor in things like that over time, right? So the growth rate of Bitcoin could be astronomical because the supply is so capped, right? And right now, we're far from mining the rest of it. And yes, despite Bitcoin only costing roughly 3,100 American dollars to mine right now, it's a good bet to say that if people are investing hundreds of millions of dollars into mining rigs, well, they have a good direction of where it's going. And I don't think that they're going to invest in a negative ROI. You want to invest in something with a very positive return on investment. So my point is, why are these people going to make a gigantic return when they're buying on 6,000, 5,000, 4,000, 3,000? People like myself who can hodl. I don't like using that word. But guys, throw your risk to reward out the window when you're hodling. I'm going to say this one thing, okay? If you guys were to buy 20 Bitcoin and you average your price out to roughly $4,000 as it drops down, when it gets back up to $20,000, when it gets back up to $50,000, you're not going to be wondering to yourself, why didn't I buy more? You're not going to be wondering, why did I not believe in Bitcoin more? You're just going to be wondering what fucking color Lamborghini you're going to buy. That's kind of been on my mind a little bit, but I don't think I'm going to be in a city long enough. And I'm not really a Lambo kind of guy. I'm more like a McLaren 720S kind of guy. Maybe an Audi R8. It's going to be an interesting 2019 year. Think of like a Huracan, maybe, if I go that route. But you guys see where I'm getting to, right? I got in on the biggest bull market on the history of mankind. And I'm going to get in it again. And we got to understand that everything that runs up really fast is eventually going to drop back down where it needs a period of rest. But like any other market that has potential for major growth and a massive impact on us technologically, of course there's going to be room for adoption, right? And we got to really understand, like, institutions are not moving in right now because they're incredibly fearful of investing in something with not much regulation. You guys can attribute it to whatever you want. Oh, it broke the 6K range. Oh, the SEC approvals, blah, blah, blah. Oh, Bitcoin cash fork. There's so many excuses for why people are selling off. But the truth, in my opinion, is people are just incredibly scared right now. Once we break a 6,000 psychological level, it just starts cascading. And you got to think of the triggers of the stop losses that cascade over, right? I mean, think of how a flash crash happens. It happens because there's not enough liquidity in an order book for you to actually sell and close your long position because there's a queue. Think of 1,000 people that are hitting their stop loss at the same time, okay? And now you guys all will get, there will be a sequence, right? You guys will get in a line to close your short position, or sorry, your long positions by selling, right? So you're all going to get in line. So now what happens is there's not enough liquidity in the order book because all 1,000 of you guys are basically selling the same product and there's no buyers in the book. That's why we're just getting zero liquidity, no one filling up, and it just ends up dropping off the face of the planet. And this is what happens. And then when you also compound in the fact that fear is prevalent in these markets and that the best traders are literally some of the most emotionally stable people in the world, you got to understand that these guys are the ones who are rock solid. I personally think that I'm a very emotionally stable trader. And that is what's going to define you guys in the future, right? Are you going to be one of those people that buys at the top, right? You buy at the top and then you stop loss yourself out at the bottom, right? Are you going to sell at the bottom? You don't want to do that, guys. You don't want to buy at the top and sell at the bottom or sell at the bottom and buy at the top, right? It's just a horrible mentality. So when you think of dollar cost averaging, where you're buying it on every incremental down, like every 500, for example, what does it matter, guys? Like I hear the argument all the time, buying the difference between 6,000 and 3,000 is 2 more Bitcoin. Very, very rational argument, but a greedy one as well. The difference between 6,000 and 3,000, yes, is 2 Bitcoin, but it can also mean that you might not even get it at these specific prices, right? You might have completely missed out on it. So that's why I believe we are buying on the way down. When it gets to $20,000, who cares, guys? What I know about Bitcoin is that it constantly drops 60 to 80% in cycles every few years, and then we reach the all-time high even more. So guys, is the year of 2018 actually the year of consolidation, and are we done? Either way, to me, Bitcoin at 4,000, 3,000, whatever, is pretty damn cheap when we consider it a fire sale from the high of $20,000. If you put in one Bitcoin and you have the patience to walk away from your computer for who knows how many months, if it gets to $20,000, you will be 500% richer. Okay? If you had, for example, $20,000 to invest in the market and you bought it at even 4K. Now, this is not financial advice. This is just speaking the truth about profit and percentage gains. 20,000 divided by 4,000 is 5 Bitcoin, right? 5 Bitcoin at $20,000 is $100,000. I mean, a 20K investment has the potential to turn into $100,000. So why am I bullish, guys? It's because I'm here for a reason, and I believe in Bitcoin. And during this downtime in the market, if you guys are having a lot of troubles, you need to be spending it, learning about the market. Increase your expertise in this field, because without learning, how can you actually become a profitable trader? Keep in mind who your competition is, guys. Your competition is me. Okay? No, really. Your competition is me. If you guys remember how I've been trading over the past few months, right? Do you want to be my competition? Or do you actually want to, you got to be better than the guy on your left, better than the guy on the right? Because if you're not, he's going to try harder than you and he's going to persevere through these difficult markets. So anyways, I just wanted to talk a little bit about the market on the fundamental side, which is very rare because you guys all think I'm this massive technical trader, which is actually true. But sometimes you need to hear about these harsh truths as well, and you got to stay positive in the market. So have yourselves a great night, baby whales, and thank you very much for watching this video. Make sure you guys are liking all my videos on Twitter and also on YouTube. If you absolutely love these, make sure you guys are clicking on that notification button so you can get them right away as soon as I upload them. So have yourselves a great night, guys, and thank you very much for joining me here in Max Safe France. And this is Philakone Crypto signing out from Max Safe France.